like the context. So I'm part of Siemens. Siemens is a huge company with 380,000 employees across the world. Moreover, they are working on different areas from medical devices to refrigerators to software development to anything that you want. It's important for us because we are part of a big company, part of an enterprise, and of course it shapes some of our processes and capabilities. But we are a global company. Specifically, I am part of the DI software, digital industry software organization within Siemens, who is 25,000 people. More specifically, I belong to the digital manufacturing business line, which means around 2,500 employees across the world, from China to the US, mostly focused in India, Israel, Germany, Italy, and the US, but spread all around. We are place 1 to 3 in digital manufacturing software across the world, and we have a huge market presence. And what we do is we develop software from the ideation phase till the execution and the delivery and the logistics. Okay, so most of my audience will be in the day-to-day software developers. Okay, I do want to, before we dive, to say a few more things about us. We practice agile and lean methodologies, specifically SAFe, but the focus is on agile, and it helps us move forward quickly. But it's important to remember that this is the culture that we have here. And because we are software developers, the whole concept of GenAI caught us, and we have to pay attention to it, right? We cannot ignore and wait for something to happen. We should lead the revolution. And with saying this, it became a real challenge. Okay, so we have 2,500 developers across the world. Very clearly, there is a request from the business side, from our customers, to start applying GenAI through our products and our productivity. And we set for a brainstorm with our partners. So who are our partners? The innovation team, the strategy and portfolio management team that says where we want to go, right? And our business leads within the organization to think how we can address this issue, address this knowledge gap, upskill the employees. And we decided to go for a holistic solution. We quickly understood that we have no, if we will just tackle one thing, how to create agents or a specific copilot for developers, right? It will not give us the full solution. And one of the things we recognized quite early in this journey, okay, is that beyond anything else, it's also a mindset shift, okay? It's not enough to have the tools, the knowledge, the platforms, okay? You have to think differently. And this is where we came into play. We sat with all our partners and we decided to create some kind of a holistic solution that will meet the needs of the developers across all levels. And I will deep dive into it in a second. Okay. This is like the summary. We're starting from the summary. And our solution has 4 layers to it. One is the education. This is simple, self-paced courses, workshops, training, everything that needs to be done. But this has to be supported with a sandbox. So even though all of the employees are software developers and quite capable, right? If you don't give them the right environment to experiment, to try, to play, they will not do it. If they will not do it, they will not advance in the GenAI. And I'm sure this is something that you all have met, you know. There's a difference between using an agent and creating an agent. We also wanted to push a lot of emphasis on what has been done, okay, within the organization, so we can copy from each other, learn from each other, consult with each other if people have already done something. So we built a marketplace for this where people can share the different agents and tools that they've created for products or productivity. And we wrap all of this with the support of a GenAI community, so we understand that this knowledge is diverse across the organization. We have experts and early adopters that have a lot to contribute, where we have novice users that are just, doing the first steps into this world. Uh, we cannot support each person individually because we are few people, over 2,000 people, but we can support a community where we share between ourselves knowledge and expertise. And we are in the first phases of the GenAI education journey, I will say, but already some activities have already showed us an impact that we can rely on, which is upskilling of large audience. We connect it to the business need, and this is why it's a holistic approach, right? And together with the innovation team, we drive new innovative approach and tools. Please feel free to stop, ask, and stuff, and I will answer. But if we take a deeper view into what does it mean from our perspective to prepare our workforce for the GenAI revolution, we're looking at different aspects. So we've curated self-paced courses with the innovation team and created specific developer track as well as the other tracks that relevant to other roles within the organization. We paired it with workshop and exercises because the first thing we learned about GenAI is that you have to practice it with the right environment that will allow you to experiment. A lot of the companies are fearing, I think, the integration of different GenAI tools and platforms in aspects of IP rights. And Siemens is not different, but what we are doing is we're building internal environments that will allow people to experiment and play with this opportunity. And we made a decision to create our own certification for this from different reasons. One reason is to formalize this whole journey and make it serious also from the user perspective, and acknowledge the time they have put into investing into upskilling themselves. Another thing, it gives us some kind of a map, okay, within the organization. If we talk about knowledge management and how do we advance, it gives us some kind of a map of where is our audience at, how many people have gone through the journey, how many have completed it, etc. But we don't believe that as a standalone it's good enough. So we also make sure that the issue is present all the time. We have quarterly learning days, and we make sure the innovation creates special tracks for Gen AI on these days where everybody has time to learn, to help them with upskilling on different topics. We also partnered with AWS. We've created dedicated workshops relevant for Gen AI tools. One of the most common ones is called Bedrock. If you work with AWS, you should be familiar with it. Okay. We're building the Gen AI community so we can share the knowledge between us. We're building a marketplace to showcase what we have been able to achieve. So you have to understand that in this 2,500 people organization, there are 10 different big organization and actually 21 small organizations, a lot of silos of information. And so to break these silos of information, we create a marketplace where you can see the code, the intention, the utilization, the opportunities of different agents and tools that have been created internally. Yes, Rudolf.
Uh, Maytal, I wanted to find out where you have said you'll have the dedicated learning days.
Mm-hmm.
So is it for the whole organization? What do you'll do on these dedicated days? And that is one question I had. And the second question, I'm not very familiar with AWS. So why is AWS training so relevant to y'all?
Okay. So I will just finish one word about the partners and I will get back to you on this. I would say that I think one of the success factors in implementing such a widespread education journey is partnering with the right people in the organization. So on a professional level, we partnered with the innovation and DevOps, okay? But we also partnered with our strategy team to make sure that we are aligned to the overall strategy of the organization and the business needs. And this is why we also touch base with all of the business leads within the organization to rope them into this education journey to help amplify it across the organization. Specifically for your question, AWS is our Amazon Web Services is the cloud that we use for many of our products. And AWS themselves has a lot of GenAI capabilities already built into their platforms. So we are not looking to invent the world, okay? If there is something there that is already accessible for us, we want to use it. The issue is how you use it properly. And a lot of people, although they want to learn everything about GenAI, they want to implement it, they want to get a better scope, even for future, professional experience. They don't have the time. Okay, so what we do is we bring it to them. We actually serve this on a plate. Specifically for AWS, they are strategic partners of Siemens, and we work very closely with them. And so we make sure that where we can utilize this resource, we do it together with them. As for the learning days, uh, 5 years ago, we decided, we saw that there is a lot of gap between how people perceive the importance of personal and professional growth to how they perceive it in Siemens. And one of the things that we decided to do was a learning day, which in essence means that we block the schedule of all the people once a quarter, cancel all regular meetings, and free the time to learn. Because at the end of the day, if you don't give people the time to learn, experiment, invest, they are all busy with their day to day and they don't have time to do these things, even if they want. What we do is we always connect in the learning days to our business needs and where do we want to push the organization forward. So we take people from the innovation team and we build with them workshops. We bring our business leads. We bring people within Siemens. We bring people from outside of Siemens to share experiences, as we want to give a very wide range of knowledge and skills for our people. We look at it as a jump start for the next 3 months. Choose a topic, work on this on the learning day itself, and continue as you progress. Is this helpful?
Brilliant. Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Uh,
Yes, sorry.
Maytal, if you're already sharing more details, how
Mm-hmm.
does the sandbox look like?
It's an environment that they have a key and they enter to, and they have a notebook there, and they have some models that they can choose from and start playing.
So besides putting having, we always had a test environment, not only a development environment or some. So
Yes.
besides having an environment there.
But they need like the right environment with the right LLM and the right access to the different models, which and it has to be internal, right? We don't want any information to leak outside of Siemens. We already have a Siemens GPT that has, I think, almost all the models available, so you can decide who you want to work with Chat, with Claude, with Gemini, with whatever, okay? So just to bring it to one space, Siemens is also working on her own LLM, but to bring everything in one space that people can play without worrying, okay, on how to keep the information. We also have there the access to AWS Bedrock, so you don't have to go through different system. I would say I said software developers and we're advanced and everything, but you also have to remember that there's different types of software development. We have very old products that people still program with COBOL and C, and they're not familiar with the cloud environment because they program on-prem. Where we have other products that are cloud native, they've been created from day one on the cloud. The familiarity with the environment in AWS is much, much higher and they need much less. But we want to cater to everybody, even if you have not worked on the cloud before, even if you don't have experience with, let's say, Python and new languages or Jira and stuff. We want to give you the environment that you can still experiment and not worry. So it's not something wow, but the ability that you just enter very easily and you have everything accessible, rather than you have to ask for a access key to AWS and you have to ask for access key for a different environment, and then you have to see. So we simplify their life. That's the idea.
Thank you.
Make
Thank
it
you.
simple and nice.
So many platforms, very easy to access,
Mm-hmm.
very safe to play around with because there are no leaks.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was wondering about, because I saw that you wrote here also tools, and I was wondering whether you have some small nuggets of knowledge within the sandbox or small tools that help them do it faster, not starting from zero, but starting from higher places. But I
So
think that I misunderstood you, and I just dreamt what I would love to have.
exactly. I would say we did open up some, let's say, outside tools that you can install locally for people to play with, N8N and Lovable. These are more for vibe coding. So we made it accessible in a local environment, for example.
Thank you.
So I would say, from our perspective, how we treat it, if we talk about operational excellence and knowledge management, we build it, okay, content and infrastructure, otherwise it has no value, and add the exercises in the sandbox in the community. We test it. How did we test it? We chose 30 people across the organization from different areas in the organization, and we just asked them to go through the journey, okay? We made sure there is a mix of early adopters that are always ahead of the curve, right? But also very novice users that have not developed at all in Python and on the cloud. And with them and with their feedback, we fine-tune the GenAI education journey. We promote. I want to say something about this. You will see it in everything that I talk about. It doesn't help to create something and invest the time in people if people are not aware of it. And in an organization of 2,000 plus people across the world, the fact that you think this is the most important thing and you put it, I don't know, you sent a newsletter, it does not help. Okay. So you have to also invest in how you're bringing it to your user. How are you connecting to your user? And engaging them and encouraging them to press on the button and start the journey. So it's a whole theory and a whole hour by itself, but I say we do it very playfully with a marketing campaign, like you will see Nike marketing campaign and McDonald's marketing campaigns. We also create campaigns for these education journeys, but we also pair up with the leadership. Okay, we recognize the leadership need and we find a way to answer this and have them be as our agents, okay, with their teams. And we put a lot of recognition around it, so create some kind of a prestige around it, and it will talk to the relevant people. And we measure continuous improvement. Okay, it's part of our DNA. So we measure by completion rate, but we measure by surveys, and we measure by new products. Okay, because this is why we came here, right? We want to create something new. So bottom line, set measurable KPIs. Okay, if you do not set it, if you don't commit yourself to it, then it's much harder to promote and advance. I do want to, if I have 2 more minutes, I don't know. You're on mute.
Here I am. You have more time, and if Yuda, it's okay with you, we will take 5 more minutes or 10 more minutes, and you'll start a bit later.
Sure, yeah.
Maytal, please continue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I said we're looking at the holistic view. We are trying to create an ecosystem that supports the learning and engagement. So we are also looking on how we can enhance this experience. And one of the things that we did is we created a very simple AI week. At Pune is one of our local offices. We have 700 people there, so it's a big crowd, okay? And what we did was very simple. Over a week, every day you had 1 hour live session locally in the office. The first one was just sharing success stories, what we have been able to achieve so far in products, in productivity. The people that presented were the employees themselves, okay? And then a day after, we had 1 hour workshop on basic concepts of AI. What is AI? What are agents? What are MCPs? What are RAGs? When we use them, okay? Just to make sure that we are all aligned. The third one was a little bit more complex, how to build an agent with the tools and the sandbox that we have, right? And the fourth one was a workshop, 2 different workshop, depends on your level. You either created an agent or an MCP. And what we did, we measured, okay? So on the right, you can see the attendance, right? So we presented 10 success stories. For each one of the sessions that I spoke about, we had over 400 attendees, okay? And we exposed to them 8 different productivity tools that are available within Siemens for their use. And the second thing that we did is we asked them a very simple question. What was your level before you started this week? And what is your level after this week? And we can see across all of the topics, okay, overall 31% increase in knowledge and skill level. Moreover, I think this is super important, how likely you are to incorporate AI tools. Even software developers are shy sometimes and they're not very keen to change their habits and day-to-day routine. And it's important for us that it will be part of their day-to-day because the mind shift, okay, doesn't happen from doing one agent or one tool or something like this. Okay, you have to experiment all the time. We can see also that the more complex, okay, the biggest benefit is for the more complex ideas, okay? When we talk about basic ideas and basic productivity tools, people are more familiar these days, okay? And they catch up very quickly. But when we go into deeper levels, more complex utilization of this, then we see the biggest gap. Okay, this is the gap that people are not able to reach by themselves. This is where we want to go in and invest. Why am I telling you about this? Because this was an experiment. They said we are an agile company. We don't commit and do major changes before we check and see the impact and the value that they bring. So we did this in Pune in our biggest office, but we saw such a huge benefit for such a small investment, okay, that what we decided is to create a kit, an AI week kit, and just go office by office and do it. So part of our roadmap for 2026 is this. I have a meeting tomorrow with the office in Italy, how they are going to do it. They're going to do it locally with their resources, with their people. We'll find, their champions and experts, and we'll take it forward with them. This was me. Questions, ideas, suggestions, sharing, I'm with you.
I just want to thank you. It was really great. We learned
Thank you.
so much from that. Thank you so much.
Happy to hear. Thank you.
Thank you, Maytal.
My pleasure.
I heard it 2 months ago, and I hear it now again, and it's not the same. So that
Thank
also
you.
is not only the way you the slides themselves that have a upgrade, but the content itself, it's upgraded, and that's wonderful to hear. And I hope that all of us, whenever we again and again speak about AI, every time we have something new to share. Thank you, Maytal. Are you
Thank you.
staying with us to hear Yuda, or you're running on?
No, I will stay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
So
Maytal.
and
Yeah.
and hi Maya, somewhere behind
Mhm.
there. Maya
She's
works
there.
with
Hi.
Maytal.
Yes.
Okay, so now we are very glad to share the case study of Yuda Vensover from Pioneer, which is a startup or high-tech company, fintech company. But Yuda, you'll tell it in much more delicate and much more refined way. So I'll leave you the honor also to share who Pioneer is and mainly to share your AI journey as a knowledge manager.
Sure. So thank you and hi again, everyone. Um, First of all, a bit about Pioneer. So Pioneer is a fintech company, already a big one, more than 2,500 employees across the globe, serving customers in more than 400 locations, areas, currencies. And what we are doing is helping businesses to send and get and manage their funds globally. So instead of relying on banks, we are providing a kind of smart wallet, let's say, an application, a platform that people can actually use in order to do business globally without any borders. It means that if someone in Europe would like to sell Chinese products in the US,